Okay, so I'm not a great sleeper, and recently I've been trying to figure out why, which means actually tracking my sleep. And I figured it would be a good idea to share some of my favorite sleep tracking subscriptions that I've come across as a result of my very informal research that I've been doing. First, there are a couple of different types of sleep tracking subscriptions, and each of them has kind of its pros and cons. There are some that pair with wearable devices that track your biometrics, like your heart rate and your breathing, which you then have to wear all the time. Some of them use tech that's integrated into like your bed itself. And then some of them are just apps meant for tracking, which are, some of the less invasive, but also maybe less accurate systems. I like the ones that integrate with some sort of tech because it feels like they give me a more in-depth picture. But that does often mean that you're investing in the tech as well as, paying for the subscription. So there's kind of a trade-off there. So first I want to talk about the 8Sleep Pod. It's kind of a smart mattress cover that pairs with an app. There's also a base that you can add on that goes under your mattress, kind of like an adjustable bed frame to like raise and lower your head. 8Sleep tracks your biometrics and it uses water in the cover to control its temperature. So it's great for like hot sleepers or anyone who wants a little extra like cozy warmth in the wintertime. It's definitely a splurge option as far as sleep trackers go. It runs anywhere from $2,500 to $5,000 if you want to like buy the whole system outright, depending on, which model you choose and the size of your mattress. But you can rent it for, anywhere from like about $170 to $250 a month, which I think is like kind of a nice compromise. One of my favorite things about the 8Sleep system is that it's not just tracking your sleep, it's actively working to improve it by adjusting the temperature of your bed, waking you up at the optimal time during your sleep cycle, and then even, changing the incline that you sleep at, depending on which model you choose. I really liked setting my 8Sleep Pod a little cool before I got into bed. It's summertime here and it was like really nice to get into bed and have everything be like nice and cool. And then I also like their kind of gentle alarm feature, which wakes you up gradually within a like 30-minute window that you choose so that you wake up at the optimal time during your sleep cycle. So you're not like waking up groggy halfway through a REM cycle. Like I said, it's the most expensive pick of all of the sleep trackers on my list. But it's also the one that works the most actively to actually improve your sleep rather than just track it. Okay, so next I want to talk about the Oura Ring. It's probably one of the best known like biometrics tracking, sleep tracking subscriptions. And this is like a wearable. I like that it's a relatively discreet, like nice looking ring. Just looks like a simple band. It comes in a few different metal colors. And you can keep it on pretty much whenever it's not charging and it'll track your biometrics. It's not cheap, but it's also not insanely expensive. The ring itself costs around like $350 to $500 depending on like the metal you choose. And then the subscription's only like $6 a month. So nothing too crazy. The biggest downside is that like while it tracks everything, it can't really like improve your sleep the way that 8Sleep does. It's just giving you the readout of like your heart rate and your breathing and stuff like that. And it's up to you to, implement changes in your lifestyle or whatever while you're, while you're looking at those metrics laid out for you. Next up is Sleep Cycle. And I think this is a really good entry point if you want something app only and don't want to or aren't ready to invest in any sort of like biometrics tech. It's an app that analyzes the sound of your breathing. You just have it on your phone next to your bed and it'll track your sleep patterns based on that. It's also got a smart alarm to wake you up during your lightest sleep phase, and a white noise feature to help you fall asleep. So while it's maybe not as accurate as like 8Sleep's alarm, because they're actually tracking your biometrics, it will listen to your breathing patterns and kind of choose the optimal time to wake you up, which is nice. And it's also a relatively inexpensive pick because it is just the app. So they have a 7-day free trial. And after that, it costs about $40 a year. AutoSleep is another app that tracks your sleep cycle and quality. It was built specifically for Apple Watch, and I really like their interface. It uses all these like colorful charts so you can see the quality of your sleep kind of at a glance. They do like the traffic light colors of like red, yellow, green, so you can like look at your week and see like which days were more green than others. And it's actually not technically a subscription. It's currently sold as just a one-time purchase for $8.99. But I wanted to include it here anyway, even though it's not a subscription, because I think it's a solid option for Apple Watch users. And it's really inexpensive. Like you might not even need to pay for a subscription to track your sleep. One thing I don't really like about it is that if you want to make full use of its features, obviously you have to wear your Apple Watch to bed. Which I think a lot of people might find uncomfortable. I personally would, if I'm going to wear something, I'd rather wear something like the Oura Ring or wear nothing at all, like with 8Sleep. There is a way to track your sleep without wearing your watch, but it really only tracks the amount of time you've slept for, not any of the other biometrics. You just kind of like leave it on the charger, and there's a setting where while it's on the charger, it tracks it as like your time sleeping or your time in bed, and then you touch it when you wake up to tell it that you're awake. I feel like I could kind of just do that myself, but you know. Of all of these sleep trackers, I think that 8Sleep is my favorite. I know it's the splurge pick, but it's the only one that actively like works to improve your sleep. Tracking will only get you so far, and if you want better sleep, you have to actually like do something about it. And that can be really hard to do when you're like, sleeping. I think it's worth it to have like that extra help that's like honestly like pretty passive. All you have to do is sleep like normal and your sleep will actually improve. But if you've tried any of these, or if you found another sleep tracking subscription that works for you, drop a comment. I'd love to hear about it. And if you found this video helpful, please like and subscribe, and sleep well.